objective that spices things up.
You people should be thanking Christ that I am who and what I am, because you need me.
And hello, everybody, and welcome to Roll with Advantage. Very excited to be here for today's episode of the Isles of Iverion. Let's go ahead and roll the intro and then.
I don't care. If I have to die, I am not spending another second under your control.
I don't believe that's you. I met the teacher at the mausoleum.
You met a lie!
I don't want to watch the people I love die and do nothing.
Because you can't tell me what my spirit tells me isn't true.
I'm a pretty good judge of character, so, just keep that in mind.
I suppose that's right. And we're back. Let's go ahead and
Probably
dive
should
in.
cancel this. This channel's not
Cancel
ethical.
Joseph 2024.
I didn't do anything. None of you have any. You have any proof either. Hello and welcome. Let us dive into today's session. As is tradition here on Roll with Advantage, I do not do the summary, but instead the players. This week on summary is Felicity. Felicity, off to you.
That's me. Thank you. All right. 2 weeks ago, not even last week, the party continues down into the cathedral, where two monstrous undead are beginning a ritual to summon and bolster more undead for House Markhold. With great effort from the party, the undead were dispatched. Once they were ready, the party was ready, they then continued on and found a lich of House Markhold holding the scepter that Beelzebub covets. The lich was opening a portal to return to the material plane. The party fought fiercely, with both Lila and Zevran on death's door. Once the lich was nearly dead, they attempted to balefire him, but he countered the spell. Having reached their limits, the party had to cut their losses and kill the lich without balefire. Yorick retrieved the staff as the cathedral began to crumble. Once safely out, the scepter spoke to Yorick, trying to convince him to keep the power for himself. And that's where we pick up.
Oh yeah, that is indeed where we pick up. So, all of you having just exited what had been falling, crumbling cathedral belonging to House Markhold, you exit, and that stench of Beelzebul returns, that rotting, fetid stench. Yorick, the scepter of House Markhold, speaks to you. The individual, their voice, old, and much, much, much older than anything you've heard. They speak about the power that you could have. And that's where we're going to go ahead and pick up. So all of you having just exited, Lila and Zevran having both died, having both perished from various spells, but being able to be resuscitated, brought back to life.
We have... Sorry. When you die, you want us to take a point of exhaustion,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot about that till right now.
Yeah, because it's when you go unconscious, you take a point of exhaustion, so death, I suppose we'd count as that.
It could qualify, I guess.
Yeah.
And you said Zevran too.
Zevran 2, yeah. I don't know if you can mark that on Zevran's sheet
can't.
because he is an NPC. Yeah.
I mean, we're probably gonna long rest super soon anyway, so
Yeah.
it like virtually doesn't matter, but
fucking hope so.
Yeah, we need it.
Jesus.
I mean, honestly, do we want a long rest, like, now?
I'd be down.
Yeah.
Does Zevran
Just before we
have
start going to the maze
the
again,
mansion
you know?
still?
I think that's why you were saving the 7th level spell slot.
Yep,
Yep.
I sure do.
Sick.
Yep. Let's cast this bad boy. Unless, I mean, before we do all that, I guess. Ryan, are you gonna
Hello.
respond to your?
Yeah.
Holy.
Well, I did last time, remember? I said no. But I know it's more complicated than that, but we had to end, so I figured Joe would go into more detail on it in a little bit.
Okay, should we cast the mansion then?
Yeah, but do any of us pick up on anything with Yorick? Because it's all just been...
Yeah, I'll say
Internal stuff,
since there's nothing passively anybody would have noticed, but I will ask all of you to make Arcana checks, excluding you, York.
I was about to say me too, or...
No.
Listen, guys,
Um,
get ready for Nalfian's Arcana roll.
Oh man, Lila's got us.
I do have identify as well.
That's not relevant
Oh my
right now.
Oh my god, no, I don't got anybody. I
Oh
can't.
no.
Wait, Zevran?
Wednesday all over again. I guess Tuesday.
Oh, there you
It was
go.
Wednesday,
Zevran pulled
Oh, really?
31.
God,
everyone else
Holy
is like-
shit.
What a man, what a man, what a man.
So yeah, I guess Zevran, out of everybody, would
Crazy. Bro's also being saucy, and so I guess he's just, he's in the same camp.
Oh my
so he
God.
gets it.
That's really funny. Okay, so
That's not you,
him.
probably.
sorry, just trying to get the right thing here. There we go. So he would sort of, as all of you are standing out, just sort of taking that moment to breathe. Before he starts casting the spell, he looks over and he looks at you, York, for a pretty considerable amount of time. And he looks to the staff. And what Zevran sees is being so entranced and embedded in the world of the arcane and magic and being a wizard taught to recognize it and analyze it. Zevran can see these like strands of silver and green that like wrap around the staff and thread the scepter, not staff, the scepter to Yorick. Like the more Yorick holds it, that's the stronger that connection becomes. And Zevran says, Yorick, I think we should put that scepter in a bag of holding, because I think it's bonding with you in some way.
Oh. Is York open to that suggestion or not? Does he still have free will at this point?
You still have free will. Yeah, you don't want to, but you recognize that it's probably the best idea.
Right. York will be like, oh shit. Yeah, alright. And he will put it into his bag of holding.
Okay. So as you put it into the bag of holding, that voice in your head, York, doesn't go away.
Of course it doesn't.
Bro.
You could get rid of me that easy, friend. I'm still here. There's still so much we could do.
That might be a problem. Yeah, definitely a voice coming from that thing now.
A voice?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's sentient.
Sounds like it.
What's
Oh.
it saying?
What did it say initially, Joe? It's been 2 weeks. It's like, was I its new master? I said no.
But it wants you to be because it knows where it's at. And it can see that your intention is to give it to Beelzebul. And it does not want that. It wants to stay with
Right.
you.
Yeah. So, yeah, it asked if I was its new master. It said no. And now wants me to use it instead of being handed over to Beelzebul. That's pretty much the summary of it.
Looking to Zevran, Nalfian's gonna say, is there a way we can stop it from talking to him?
I do not think so. The only way to stop it would be to either have it another creature attuned to it, or with some magical artifacts, it's the same magic that's used in the vaults for the college. They'll put them in lead boxes, about 12 inches thick on each side, and that prevents the item from communicating with anyone.
Yeah, well, we don't have any of those around.
No, I left my 12-inch lead box at home.
Do I have a 12-inch lead box at home?
You would be surprised what troubles a wizard gets himself into, where lead is very useful.
So you're saying that there's nothing we can really do until we hand it over?
Correct.
Let's rest, and we can plan from there instead of just waiting for someone to overhear our conversation.
Nalfian's gonna just look over at York and just keep an eye on him, but nod.
Okay.
Zevran will cast the spell to cast his mansion.
Door. And with
Head
that,
inside.
yep, all of you are able to head inside, leaving behind the strange slurping noises of
Yeah, well,
Maldamani and the warm
Lovely.
interior of Zevran's mansion. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and get peaceful dreams of Elysium. That one sounds good. Nice. So all of you enter, and there is this breath of fresh air, just being inside the mansion, away from the hells and the death and decay of this corrupted area by House Markle within Maldamani. But you enter, and you have the opportunity now to rest and relax, and potentially do whatever you wish to do with the scepter itself. Let me actually check something real quick with... I want to check something with the spell, Magnificent Mansion. Because you can create any floor plan you like, but it can't see 50 cubes, 50 on each side, furnish, decorate food to serve a 9-course banquet to 100 people. A
Are you
staff.
trying to
over here.
break into our
No.
safety?
Inside the visual appearance, complete obedient to your orders. Servants.
Maybe he's seeing if Zevran can make a lead box while in here or something.
The servant can go anywhere. Furnishings and other objects created by the spell dissipate into smoke if removed from the mansion. You know what? I think you can.
That's awesome.
It just won't work once we leave, but while we're here, we can
Correct.
put it in, basically.
Yeah.
Nice.
Some.
So yeah, Zevran will say, all right, I've not tried this before, but and he, like, as all of you are in the front room, in the foyer, he begins to whisper
Nice.
around magic, and you can see some of those invisible servants that have been tending to you in your time here. These wisps of, like, arcane and astral magic come together to form a lead box, a size that will fit the scepter inside of it.
All right, so just right in there then.
Yes.
All right.
If we want to, I do have Identify the spell before we put it away. Unless we think that's a bad idea. But we would
is it
know more.
dangerous to identify items like that?
I mean, it just might latch on. Like it did to Yorick to me. But I don't know if it'd be necessarily any more dangerous than holding it.
What are you hoping you might learn?
Something... anything. Knowledge in general, I mean... So that we can better tell maybe what Beelzebub will do with this? Before we just give them a extremely powerful object to a very evil creature?
That's a good point. Is it safer to do that?
With powerful artifacts like this, it can be safe, but it could also cause the staff to claim Lila its new master, and then if the connection is stronger than what Yorick has, then she might not want to put it back in the box. Granted, that might not happen. It's just a chance. I think the information is valuable, but I think at the end of the day, it's
Not
really
worth the risk.
well, it's up to us if we think it is worth the risk. I think there's plenty of value in knowledge, but it's best to be aware of what could happen should we choose to seek it.
What if Yorick holds on to it with me while I cast Identify? Keep it confused so it can't necessarily pick one master.
I don't know how confused it would get. I don't know the intelligence of the creature within, so there's no way of knowing if it's more primal, more simple, or if it is highly intelligent, then I don't know.
I mean, it seemed intelligent enough. Just my 2 cents, I don't know.
Well, I personally would like to take the risk just so we know what the heck this is and what it can do.
Any objections from anyone?
I mean, I'm not comfortable with it, but I'm not going to tell you no. Alfian's like, do I put my hand on my sword? Do I just wait? What do I do here? He's just gonna, I mean, he's not gonna stop her. He's just nervous about it.
Yeah.
As long as you're okay with it, Lila. I know you've already been through a lot today.
Yeah, we just don't need tomorrow to be worse just because we give Beelzebul this.
Right.
Because we may need to write up more conditions in the contract, depending on what this can do.
Fair. And we're right here. So if something does go wrong.
Yeah, I give you guys permission to rip it out of my hands, even if I'm upset about it.
Oh, you will. You'll be upset about it, and it will be out of your hands. And Alf will position himself in perfect staff grabbing.
The perfect form.
He's like ready to like grab it, drop it into the box.
Okay, cool. Well, once Yorick's ready, Lila will cast Identify.
He'll hold it out. He'll get it. He'll retrieve it and hold it out for her to cast.
All right.
Okay.
Cast.
All right, so you begin to cast the spell. However, as it says, at one point in time during the casting of the spell, you must touch the item.
Mhm.
Lila, as you go to touch the item, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Watch me die.
You're good at these.
I am. I do these.
You're so wise.
25!
Oh yeah, wisest around.
Okay, so you take half
Fail.
damage.
Oh,
Oh, damage. Nice.
that's not what I thought would happen.
Neither!
Okay, Lila, you're going to take 26 points of psychic damage
Okay.
So I was
as
still standing.
Yes, barely.
Oh, good.
you attempt to grab it, and you can feel there is this. Your arm, you can feel it begin to like twist and bend unnaturally, as if some arcane force from within the staff is repelling you. But due to your wisdom, instead of being flown back like it's trying to send you, you're able to grip a hold of it and quickly cast Identify, learning the properties of the weapon. But as you grip hold of it, the individual bound within the scepter speaks to you.
You will remove your hands from the scepter. You are unworthy of the stars. Your radiance has no place with me.
And you feel the singeing in your hand, creeping, this decay moving through your hand as you keep your hand there. The spell's done. You remove your hand?
Yeah, so I got everything that I needed to.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she'll immediately remove the hand.
So you remove the hand. Yorick, you notice nothing on your end, but you do see Lila's hand like twist and bend unnaturally for a moment and then grip. As you learn the properties of the Scepter of House Markol, Lila. So these are more loosey-goosey things, as this is an item that none of you could even attune to because it requires attunement by an evil spellcaster.
I think that's good for the prospects of Yorick, though. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's definitely evil, because I know we were, at least me, I was like, is it not evil? What?
So, power number 1, Curse Weaver. Bestow Cursed is castable at will with no limitation. You can cast Bestow Curse on as many people as you want to, period. Grand Illusionist. You can cast Mirage Arcane to make illusions reality. You can cast that at will as many times as you want. Which Mirage Arcane is a 7th level spell that is just one step above Major Illusion. It is a necrotic conduit. So once per week, the scepter can animate legions of undead, commanding up to 1,000 HP of undead every week.
Wowzers.
Oh.
And then finally, Realm Channeler, which this is a very abstract ability where there are 10 charges for spell amplification, where you can pretty much take a leveled spell and for each point increase the level of it, base cast. So cast at 5th level, you can upscale it to 9th level by using a charge. You can create a horde of undead that does not count towards your 1,000 HP of undead. You can create an impenetrable sanctum. And really, it is kind of like a very weak version of Wish, where you can expend all 10 charges and just do something with the scepter. Now, this can't undo large things or things that are, have multiple hands in the in creation, So, for example, it couldn't undo a contract in the Hells. So, just
about to ask.
because I figured that was what you guys are going to ask. It can't undo that. But it's a very minor version of Wish. And then finally, let me see, does Identify... Okay, well, does it... Okay. You do not learn that. But you can also tell that there is a sentient creature within it. Very smart, very wise, and very high charisma.
I mean, it's giving devil demon-y thing, but House Markle doesn't always do that. Okay, she'll share what she learned as she I imagine it's like after you take your hand off of like a boiling pot or something like that, kind of like shaking it and trying to treat it, but it's necrotic. So, now at least we know what it fully does, and it seems like it can't actually fully bond with actually anyone in this sanctum.
Good. Not the most comforting thing to know we're handing this over.
Right. Maybe we just need to add an addendum regarding the use of the staff?
I don't think we can at this point. Beelzebub already signed, right?
He did, yeah.
Yeah,
But we
but
can still add addendums after someone signs, right?
I think the way in which this is Kayla, I think the way in which he signed was that if we don't complete this, it just becomes null and void, right? Like,
Mhm.
if the transaction isn't completed.
Yeah.
So
So,
technically,
but-
yes, but
Yeah, but then, so with how you set up this contract with Beelzebul, he agreed to the terms that you would give him the scepter. If you do not give him the scepter, the rest of the contract that he agreed to becomes null and void, and you've retrieved the scepter from the place he couldn't go. So now you have the scepter, and you're in front of him in his domain.
Yeah, I'm not saying we're not gonna give it to him. I was
Mhm.
just maybe like, maybe
What
it's
do you
already
use it
covered
for?
in the conditions
Well-
thing, but like just to make sure that, these legions of undead can't be used to like overthrow Eurydice and stuff. I guess that's kind of probably already covered with
Yeah,
the
that's
whole
already in the
context.
contract as well. There was also protection clauses for the material plane in general from devils in it, right? I feel like I remember that being.
I think so too. Let me double check there.
yeah, because my question was gonna be like, this is really just for like, this is scary. Don't get me wrong, but it's like really scary for the people who are gonna be down here. Just a continuation of this like constant war that is being fought,
I
right?
guess. I don't.
War.
Yeah.
Let's see. Terms of fealty, allegiance. The vassals hereby pledge unwavering loyalty and subservience to the sovereign. Obedience, lawful commands issued by the sovereign. Non-aggression. The vassal shall refrain from any action, direct or indirect, that would harm the sovereign, their interests, or their domain. Retribution and servitude. Binding magics. Severability. Governing law. Yeah. The vassals retain control over their layer of the Nine Hells, subject to the sovereign's overarching authority and terms outlined in the contract. Eternal servitude. In the case of death as retribution, the soul of the vassal shall be bound in eternal servitude to the sovereign, forfeiting all claim to power, autonomy, and previous rank. Damn.
Surprise guy wrote this.
Damn.
That sucks.
I mean,
but
go ahead, Joe.
because obviously, yeah, because like the interest end domain of Eurydice is basically the material plane. So I feel like there's no gray area there at least.
Mhm.
And so I think at least in terms of like him doing any harm to material, I think that'd be out of the question because that'd be violation of the contract. And in terms of the hells, obviously don't know the exact form of everything, but like Beelzebub, like his thing was he was an angel.
Mhm.
He was meant to be the ruler of the hells, but then kind of got shafted for Asmodeus instead.
Yep.
So I feel like out of all the devils, he's hopefully more on the angelic side of things in terms of like viewpoints and all that. Which I feel like isn't a bad thing. And
I
also,
just
he can't fuck up the hells too much, because then, that's again violating the contract, because, that's Eurydice's domain.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure that we were crossing our T's and dotting our I's about giving it to him.
For sure.
Because I don't remember everything.
Yeah,
most
no, I
of
get
the
that.
time.
No, same. I think we're okay. I mean, it doesn't feel good, but like, in terms of overarching stuff, like he can't hurt Eurydice and he can't fuck up the material plane. So,
I wish we
And
did
he
know
can't fuck up
what
the order of the
he...
hells either.
yeah.
Does anyone remember why he wanted the staff so bad? Or is it just like a little collector's item?
You don't want to be
Yeah, he's
Uggo
always had a
anymore.
thing for Markle and had an interest in that, so I'm sure
Yeah,
that's
but also
part of
he
it.
was an angel, and so he wants to have at least some semblance of that again.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's that double-edged thing.
Yeah, the
The thing
main
that I'm curious,
Yeah.
though, is just real quick before I forget.
Mhm.
Do we know why he couldn't get it? Like, why couldn't he go to this specific area of his domain?
You are not entirely sure. Well, no. I'll say with Lila and Zethrin's passive, we'll say Arcana, there were protection staves and runes that were established all throughout the cathedral to make sure that fiends couldn't enter, and they were made by Valtharion using the most powerful magic he had. So much so that even Beelzebul couldn't enter the realm.
Wait.
Okay, so
Is
it's not
that
like a
why-
thing of just like other people were like, yeah, this guy should not have the scepter. It was just the guy that had the scepter didn't want anyone else to have the scepter.
Correct. Yeah, because the scepter is very powerful.
That makes
Yeah.
me feel more comfortable. Yeah. Okay.
The other thing, if this scepter is evil, right, and wants to do evil, that might be why it doesn't want to go back to Beelzebul, because he wants to restore some of his angelic nature with the staff, right?
Yeah, I hope so. I don't know. See, I know I was the one that brought up the whole angel thing, but I don't know how much of an angel he is right now. You know, like I feel like a lot has probably changed.
Because I will say the main reason he said that he wanted this is because it has the ability to create masterful illusions.
Oh, so he
and-
wants to pretend he's pretty.
Yeah.
And
Don't we all?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like,
all right.
relatable.
This feels better.
I mean, so he wants to look at himself in the mirror and not vomit. I relate. Like, so, you know.
Same. So let's give it to him. He deserves to have a
Yeah,
happy
I'm sure
morning.
nothing of
He just wants to
consequence
feel
will come from this
pretty.
decision.
Oh my gosh. Lila and him can have like a whole little montage, like a shopping spree. Like, now that you actually like
Makeover.
yourself, we can
Give him a makeover.
pull the Grinch
Oh,
arc on him.
for real.
Well,
I'm sure
till
that's what
then,
Joe was
Scepter's going in
expecting.
the box, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And everyone's going to bed.
I need a nap.
Let me.
Well, I mean, before we do go to bed, like as soon as it's in the box, like Yorick doesn't feel that connection anymore. Like just to make sure he's not going to do anything sus in the night.
Yeah, Yorick, as you put it in the put the scepter in the sorry. As you put the scepter in the box, and shut the
Funny to
lid.
you.
Yeah, what the hell is that about?
I don't know. So as you put the scepter in the box, as you go to close the lid, you do hear the individual say,
Before you close that lid, don't you wish to know more about the Downy? The truth, their connection to the Forsaken. One, I can be a tool to you.
He shuts it.
okay, all right, Yorick, you shut it. As you shut it and the box closes fully, you feel the connection sever. The voice exits your head, but you still feel something lingering. Like a twisting in your heart, just a irregular palpitation every once in a while, but nothing too intense.
Just feel off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get those days.
Okay. So, with that, all of you rest then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I got stuff to do that night before we skip to the next day.
Yeah, of course.
Evil stuff.
What?
Is it evil stuff? I don't trust you.
Who knows?
Evil.
You didn't have your squirrel following me, so I guess you'll never know.
Man, fuck you.
I'm taking a long rest.
But York's gonna want to go see Zevran once everyone's kind of split up.
Okay. Yeah, so you go and find Zevran, and you can see that he's in the sort of central living room area. There are these incredibly tall bookshelves, the kaleidoscope of constellations and astral stars up in the air, and you can see him flipping through what looks to be, you know what? It's a book York's read before. It's Crime and Punishment, or the fantasy equivalent of it.
The fantasy equivalent of Crime and Punishment. Aw, that's a good read.
Yes, it is a little dry. I'm not going to lie, but I like dry reading. Yeah. You know.
Yeah, I normally don't, but that one's pretty good. What you should read is the fantasy equivalent of Romance of the Three Kingdoms. That one's better.
I will very much get on reading the fantasy equivalent of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms. You know, actually, I don't even think it needs to be the fantasy version, because there are three kingdoms in northern Calderos. That are inspired by that real life event. Anyway, let's bring it back into the game, don't you say, Yorick?
Sure.
All right.
Camera. No, are you at a good stopping point, or do you want me to come back in like 20 minutes?
No, you're fine. You're fine. And he'll kind of close it and set it off to the side.
Ah, cool. And York's just gonna hold his hand up, and he has a bottle of wine. Join me.
Sure, I'd love to.
Sick. And he'll sit across from him, pull out glasses, and pour him each glass. Your kitchen's fantastic in here, by the way.
Thank you. It is all my favorite things from home.
Oh. Well, it shows. Yeah. I just wanted to like check in on you and see how you're feeling with all the stuff that's been going on lately.
Well, I'll admit that earlier today was a bit harder, and I'm excited to get some rest. I have never I think, like most people, I've never died before, and it feels strange to be back. I don't know. You're confronted by that flock of feathers and the porcelain mask, weighing your deeds and triumphs and failures, and you're ripped back to reality. It almost feels like I'm not supposed to be here, even though I'm very thankful to be, but regardless, I'm very excited for all of us to be done with the Hells one day.
Yeah, one day. Feels like we've been here forever and hardly at all at the same time.
Yes. Very much.
So you like actually saw the Raven Queen though? Just going back to that, like you physically saw her?
I really think so.
Was the weighing going well?
It was. I really think it was. There was something I feel like she was about to say about my final resting place or final judgment, and then I was ripped back. Believe me, I'm much happier to be back than to not.
No, for sure, I get it. How are you feeling about unless you don't want to talk about it, because that's totally cool if you don't. But what about the Lila news?
I'll tell you the same thing I told her. I'm very happy that she's found purpose, and that after all is said and done, that she will have something truly marvelous to dedicate her life to. I told her that if I am permitted, I would be more than happy to join her in this astral sea. But I don't know if that'll be allowed. But if one day I could be up there with her in the astral sea, I'd do so in a heartbeat. But I'm more than willing to let go if I need to, if that's what she truly wants. As much as it breaks my heart.
Well, I think that's the sign that you really love her, right?
I like to think so.
Well, I've never spoken to Corellian, but Lila keeps saying he's a pretty cool guy, so I don't see why he wouldn't want her to be happy, but what do I know?
This is why I like spells. I like magic and science because it's measurable. It's easy to understand. It's not nearly as abstract as the gods tend to be.
Yeah. And just kind of throughout this whole conversation, like, Yor kind of wants to believe Zevran, but just passively, does he feel like Zevran's holding anything back? Does he feel like he's not being sincere? Because, you know, wanting to support someone you care about, it's very easy to put up that kind of front, but actually be devastated by the reality of what's going on. You know, and Yorick obviously having his own feelings about Lila leaving. Just anything you can kind of pick up talking to Zevran?
No, I would definitely say that, like, with a passive insight, Zevran is very sad at the idea of no longer being by Lila's side if that does happen. But from the expressions he has on his face, that seems to be something that he almost thinks maybe is inevitable, even if he doesn't want it to be.
Well, for what it's worth, you're being better to her than I am right now. I just can't bring myself to be happy about it right now.
It's we all process things differently. So I think that you're more than... I understand why. I don't know. I like to think that if I was in that same situation, even if Lila was upset, she would come to understand. So I'm trying to give her that same grace that I'd hope she'd give to me.
Yeah, that's fair. Sorry I bail-fired you that one time.
Well, it's all right. I didn't feel it.
I know. Still felt bad about it.
It did itch a bit, but it wasn't too bad.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it didn't itch when I was bail-fired.
I don't know. Maybe I just have that dark friend in me, you know, just a little bit. It seems poor taste to joke about. I promise. No need to do it again.
Well, I can't. It'd have to be Lila for what that's worth. Unless Twix toss that dagger.
I feel like it's a dagger, though. It's still... you know, it's still...
Yeah, but dagger pain versus balefire pain, I imagine, are two very different things.
That is...
But I wouldn't know. Neither would you, I guess.
Very true.
I guess the dagger's out then. Alright, well. Based on the pages, you're about to get to a really good part, so I think I'm going to let you get back to your book.
Well, thank you so much. And thank you for the wine and conversation, Yorick. I hope that soon you'll I hope you'll grow to understand. Sometimes the paths we wind up on They steer us towards inevitabilities that we don't necessarily want to embrace, but have to.
Yeah. Maybe. I guess we'll see. Anyways, have a good night.
You as well. And with that, York, you head off into the evening.
I had one other thing that won't take super long, but if
Yeah.
anyone else has anything, please take a turn. I just wasn't sure if anyone had any stuff.
Nah, Nalfian's knocked the fuck out. It's a rough fucking couple of hours.
Mm-hmm. Now, I have one last thing that I'll do, but you can do yours first.
Gemma, you doing anything, or are you good? Twig good?
No, Twig's good.
Okay, well. York's gonna go see Lila real quick, so guess we'll do that
All right.
now. Just gonna knock on the door real quick.
Yeah, and she'll open it.
Hello.
Hello.
Did you hear that?
No.
No, I'm sorry. Don't worry about it. Anyways, I have a question. Totally understand if you're not up for it, because today was a day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it felt like 3 weeks, but I was wondering if I could use one of your sendings, but if you're totally tapped, I understand, or if you're just not up for it, totally get that. Just thought I would ask while we had a moment.
Yes. Hold on. My mouse is being weird. I have to actually fix something real quick. I'm pretty sure I have 4th level spells still. I think I have only like a few left. Let me see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, she'll say, I can. She's kind of like rubbing her eyes. She looks very sullen right now. But yeah.
Everything okay?
I died. It was rough. But thank you. Also, without you, I don't know if I'd still be dead, so.
I mean, I think I'm the only one who can cast Revivify, so I guess you probably... Let's not focus on that right now.
Okay, yeah.
The point is you made it.
Mm-hmm. Who do you need to send to?
Well, hang on, do we need to talk about this more? You seem... I don't know, I want to make sure that this is given time here.
I honestly don't know.
Am I
what to
making it
say,
worse?
Lauren.
I feel like I'm making it
I'm
worse.
so exhausted right now.
Got it. Okay. We'll be quick then.
Okay. She'll take his hands.
So we're gonna do sending to Elanre.
Ah.
Yeah. Hopefully this will be done in one. All right. Yorick here. Need a favor. I think it's time that the Order has a meeting. We need to go on the offensive. Can you help? I think that's 25.
Okay. All right, York, I'll have you roll it. I need you to roll a D100.
Oh, fuck, we're in hell. I forgot about that. God damn it.
You just forgot we were on hell.
Well, I forgot that sending works weird on different planes. I forgot about that aspect. I'm trying to roll above 10 or under 90. I just want to know what I'm aiming for here.
You need to roll an 89 or below.
89. Okay. Yes, 21.
All right.
9 plus 10.
Okay. All right. So you use sending towards Professor Elanre, the College of Hearthcrest. And
it's not like 4 a.m. in the material plane. I have no idea.
you do it doesn't influence the number of words he can use, but you do hear he's like in the middle of a speech, right? Like, is he giving a lecture?
That's amazing.
So you hear this doesn't influence the number of words, but you just hear as you make the connection. And that is why it's very important for us to remember that. and none of you see this, but in the classroom, he just 1 moment to all the students, and he's gonna turn around.
I love this.
I'm at work. You can't fucking call me like this.
And
Some of us still have day jobs, Yorick.
he says, I am glad you're all right.
Thanks, man.
I will see what I can do, but it may take time. When you return, perhaps some of your connections can help.
Cool. Yeah, Yorick got what he needed out of that. He's gonna start trying, you know. It's gonna be a future thing. Totally get that, so perfect.
As
not gonna make Lila cast another spell for like, thanks, bro. Good luck with the lecture. What are you talking about?
Ends, you hear. And with that, class, actually, you're dismissed. I have some things I just remembered I needed to take care of. You hear a student go, did you just get the sending spell? No, I did not.
You yelled at me when I got sent earlier this week. Why can you do it?
Mine was from my mom. All right, anyway.
All right. Think I got what I needed out of that.
Wonderful.
Do you want to be left alone, or?
No, actually, I'm gonna go see Zevran. I'm just feeling really, really drained from today. That's all.
Right. He's down in the foyer. He's in the middle of a really good part of a book, but I'm sure that he will be totally fine having that interrupted for you, because he loves you, you know.
Right. Well, thank you.
Feel better, and he'll tap her on the shoulder, and he'll put the rest of his 20 points of lay on hands into her, which I know we're about to take a long rest, but just give her a little pick me up
Little
before he
boost.
walks away.
Nah, that's appreciated.
20.
Heal. Cool. All right. Yeah, as Yorick leaves, she'll just pick up. She actually doesn't pick up her dissertation. She leaves that there, and she picks up like a book that she's been reading just for fun, and she'll like go down to where Zevran is, and just sit down next to him, rubbing her eyes, and say, "Oh my god, I'm not trying to be casual, but that was fucking insane."
Yes, that it was a lot. I am very glad that we both lived, though. I mean,
Me too.
I that was kind of stupid. Of course, I'm happy we're alive.
No, I get it. It's awkward. It's like, what do you say? Like,
You can't
without
say
you, I'd be dead. Haha. Like, obviously.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Exactly. I'm sorry you got lost for
yeah.
a brief moment.
But happy you were found. Just nothing works very well.
But seriously, I know that things are confusing and hard right now, and then with what happened to both of us today, I'm probably gonna fall asleep while reading this book, but can we just be together until we fall asleep?
I would love that.
Good. You're at apparently a really good part, according to Yorick, so.
Yes, actually. It's something that I think rings true, especially in our case. The part I just read was, we sometimes encounter people, even perfect strangers, who begin to interest us at first sight. Somehow, suddenly, all at once, before a word has even been spoken. Which is very poetic in this book that has been rather dreary up until this point.
I like it though.
Don't ask me for context around that part. I honestly, I was kind of skimming for a bit, and I don't know what was said before and what's said after, so I could be taking that terribly out of context, I want to stress, but...
I like it in our context. And she'll take his hand and then read her book.
Yeah. So the two of you sit there, separate but together, reading your books on this quite comfy lounge in the foyer of Zevran's mansion. Eventually, the two of you do fall asleep next to each other, books clattering onto the ground. Okay. But with that, time passes. You all awake, refreshed the next morning, ready for what the day has in store. So, that morning, as everyone is getting ready and preparing themselves, Nalfian, you were definitely a little bit more battered and bruised. Didn't die, luckily, but, you know, definitely taking that time to maybe get a little bit past the 4 hours of your trance. As you are waking up and getting ready, you do hear a knock at your door.
You can come in. Nalfian's still, like, laying in bed.
Yeah. Opening the door and shutting it behind him is Zevran. Nalfian, I was hoping to ask you for, just very briefly wanted to say something to you.
Yeah? No problem. What's going on? And Nalf will get out of bed at this point.
Yeah. So he'll say, listen, I know when we talked the other night, I seemed off.
Weird.
Or strange.
Odd.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, all right. Okay. It's because I could feel that something bad was going to happen.
All right.
And then it did. Lila died, and there was nothing I could do. And then I died. Granted, we're both back now, which is great, but I just realized that there's very little I can do to affect what seems to be events that are preordained. And maybe that's not the case. Obviously, anything can happen, but if something happens where I do not return from the hells, and he'll kind of reach into a pocket and he'll hand you an envelope. And as you grab hold of the envelope, you can feel what's probably like a ring inside the envelope. And a letter.
Whoa. Zevran, I think
please, if that happens, after you all get to safety, please give that to Lila. I trust her not to read it and open it, but I feel as though she might be tempted, and I would hope that you would be able to respect that privacy and not before the time comes.
You have my word that I will do exactly what you just said. Alright? I promise you that. However, if you keep living as if your path is already set in stone for you, You are wasting so much time. Do you understand?
I understand.
I will do this because I care about the both of you. But you gotta promise me that you are going to do everything in your power to leave this place when we do.
I will.
Man, Caleb wants to fucking check that, but Nalfian is going to choose to believe him. And he's gonna put the letter, safely tucked away in his stuff.
Okay.
Is that why you're actually acting weird? And don't lie to me.
That is, Alfie, I promise.
So you stayed up late one night, reading tomes and stories and infernal languages, quoting stories of long dead nights at me. Because you just had a gut feeling that something was going to go wrong, that you were going to die the next day. You have some type of foresight that I don't know about?
Maybe spending all this time around an Echo Knight and the Dunamancy, maybe time's starting to get a little mumbled for me.
He kind of narrows his eyes.
But,
She really needs you. You know that, right?
I don't like to look at it that way.
You know, if you're in trouble or something's wrong, we can figure it out, right?
I'm not.
I know.
in
Listen.
trouble.
You're, man. You are really. I'm choosing to believe you. You know that.
I know.
All right. Keeping an eye on you. And I'm not gonna let anything happen to you if I can help it.
Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome.
With that, he'll nod and then turn to leave.
No. Nalfian will stop him and give him a nice hug.
Yeah, he'll return the hug.
Alright. And Nuff will pat him on the back as he leaves.
Okay. Alrighty. So with that, all of you rested. If you have items that roll for recharges, make sure you do that. Just put in the chat. Appreciate that reminder from Asniel as well. Okie dokie. With that, you all wake up, you eat some breakfast, and are ready to head back to the throne of Beelzebul.
Yes, but could I ask a technical question about my exalted Planeswalker breastplate?
Yeah, of course.
So it doesn't matter because it's in the past, but just for future, I totally forgot about the Constellation's Embrace feature where if she's reduced to 0 hit points, she's instead teleported to a safe location within 1 mile and restored to 1 hit point. But that wouldn't be the case with Power Word Kill because that was like dead, right?
Yeah, no. Reduced to 0 is when you get knocked unconscious. Power Word Kill, or
Right.
Finger of Death, Disintegrate, Immolate, things that like
You die.
where you die instantly. Yeah, it's
Okay. I was thinking that, but I'm like, I should ask.
yeah, because that's why spells like that are phrased. If this would reduce you to 0, you just die because you're not reduced to 0. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool. Sorry for my yawn. Also, I had 3 diamonds, I think, because now I'm down to 1 diamond.
Okay.
So if when we vacay in Kania, we want to hit up an infernal market, I'm sure they have diamonds.
Okay. Whatever helps you sleep at night.
If not, we've only got 1 more death in the bank, y'all. Be careful out there.
No more dying.
No more dying.
Easy.
On a death detox.
Too funny. All right. That it? No more talks, no more chats?
I don't think I have anything
I'm
else.
good.
Alrighty. Sounds good to me.
Now we'll put that letter in a really safe place, though.
Okay, yeah.
Full envelope.
Somewhere that won't get burned to pieces from any of the number of explosions Nalfian is typically exposed to.
Right.
Just
You
general
can
blood
put it into
splatter.
that secret slot in your armor where you found that one note.
Oh, yeah. Wait, did we ever
Thought.
figure out who wrote that?
Nope.
Sure didn't.
What the fuck? Thanks for reminding me of that trauma.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I thought about that the other day.
Oh my god. Does Nalfian still have that note?
I think about it every. No, I thought we burned it.
Did
I
we
think
burn it?
you
we
did. I think you did burn it.
Man,
Yeah.
I think
okay,
we didn't
sorry.
want there to be any evidence that. Because we thought someone might be trying to sabotage you.
I need answers to that later, Joe.
Well, if it doesn't become relevant in the 2 years of downtime, it'll have to be something in the
Yeah,
Oh,
blog.
okay.
in the post-op of the campaign.
Crazy.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, very cool. So, all of you prepare to leave and grab the scepter.
We
Yep.
grabbed. Oh right.
All
Can't
eyes
be in
on
the
your arc.
box anymore.
Yeah, you can't take the box out of the mansion. It'll
Oh.
turn to
That's
cloud
right.
and dust.
All right, well, now it's gonna walk real close to York.
We put the
you're
box
feeling this
in the bag of
morning.
holding, and then we just leave. No one has to touch it.
All right, that works. Now
Okay.
we'll put his arm
Bag of holding,
around.
Dusty.
Now put his arm around York's.
Okay.
Morning.
Can I help you?
All right, I was just walking by.
Why are you so close?
Well, you don't like me being this close?
It's a little off. It's a little weird. Just
I
usually
smell
do
good,
it.
don't I?
Oh yeah, you always smell nice.
All
but
right,
it's
then
not
deal with it.
usually
I'm
how
just
you
keeping
do
an
it.
eye on you. Okay, listen. He kind of like pats him on the chest.
I
I'm
didn't
looking
do
out for
anything
you.
yesterday.
Listen, protocol, right? You do the same for me? All right, let's walk.
Has this happened to you before?
I said you do the same for me. Not often do evil magical items talk to me.
I don't know. That's why I asked. You guys had
Now
a
if he
lot
walks
of
in
shit
here.
happen to you before I joined.
All right.
Twig fired a ballista at like a brood mother or something. I still want to hear that story more.
That hurt. I remember that. Yeah.
Lila turned into like half a corpse for a day or something like that. I was...
And a werewolf.
And a
Oh
werewolf,
yeah, and a werewolf. That one was so
stinky one.
traumatic.
Anyway,
Okay. Alrighty.
use
So
the
all of you-
compass to try and get back safely.
Yes. Luckily, with the scepter now out of the control of Valtharion, the undead, they roam freely and more wildly, leaving this very safe chunk that they had reserved for themselves. They spread out further as opposed to coalescing in the one area. So your journey back is pretty easy. However, Yorick, the scepter speaks to you more.
Is it that you do not believe? My name is Sangasu. I was the Forge Master of the Dawi. I created armies of undead for the Dark One. I know so much. So many weaknesses to be exploited. But if you give me to Beelzebul, you will learn none of them.
You respond, York?
Does he have to respond out loud, or is it?
That could be telepathic.
Mind link. Well, we have a long walk if you want to talk.
Very good, yes. I am sure you know of what I believe is called the Accursed Isle. Within Iverion, the home of House Markle.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Very good. Within that isle, there exist mines. Countless mile stretches of land. Hundreds of thousands undead. Ready to be awoken. Ready to lay waste upon Iverion, Tarkir, all of Eridane. The only way in is with the blessing of one of the Dawi. With
That right,
this
huh?
scepter, you could control them. You could use them for your own purpose, to fight against the Dark One. The only reason I sided with them in the first place was so I could let my creations be as strong as possible. So I could have an army. It was not in servitude to the Father of Nice, no. It was to watch my family grow.
You mentioned something about the Forsaken.
Yes, the Forsaken. I will gladly tell you more about them. You see, when I was still alive, their power was in its infancy. Most of them were still mortals who had just signed their souls to the Father of Lies. For those that still live, I can feel their power diminish. I could tell you where you could find artifacts, pieces from their past that could make the slaughter of them much easier.
Given what you...
As I can feel the Forsaken's power has diminished. If we have killed one or two or maybe three, what is to stop us from killing more? You see, the Forsaken receive a portion of the Dark One's power. So when more Forsaken perish, the remainder grows stronger.
Given what Yorick knows about the Forsaken so far, I mean, magic items in general can cover a wide area of things, but can he put together why certain artifacts would have certain effects on the Forsaken that they would sever connections from the Dark One?
Not sever, necessarily.
Weaken, I guess, yeah.
Weaken, yeah. So, the closest thing, because right, Yorick has never heard that before, in relation to the Dark One, the Forsaken, anything like that. The closest thing that Yorick would be able to relate it to is it sounds like, he's saying that there is some type of phylactery almost, or artifact that is used, and I mean, in Yorick's case, a patron, right? There's some type of binding agreement. Sometimes it's a contract, but for other entities, it's an item. it is a piece of themselves. Sometimes their soul, sometimes something more. Sometimes they need to sacrifice a part of them or an item that has meaning to them in order to gain those powers. Sacrifice a part of themselves. So perhaps there is logic there that if that item is found, it could weaken them. But I mean, is he telling the truth? I have no idea.
Right. Yeah. And you want what to learn this info?
All I wish is to not be bound to the hells. I wish to leave. I am from the material plane, and I have been trapped down here for thousands of years. I desire freedom.
That I get. How close are we to getting back, by the way?
Maybe 15, 20 minutes at this point.
Well, you certainly know how to make a compelling argument. Shouldn't have hurt my friend, though.
You must understand. Myself in this form, I am fractured. I am a lesser version of the man I once was. Spending thousands of years trapped in an infinitely small space, it can affect one's psyche in more ways than one would like to admit. I apologize for the pain I caused. But my bond is to you, not to another.
Alright. Time out. Team talk, I mean... Nah, right? Like, we...
Absolutely not.
No. I think you should take it, honestly.
Alright, it's two nays, one yes. Alright, well...
He's bullshitting you so hard right now.
Yeah.
No, I trust him completely.
I feel that way, but...
Okay, what if you guys... What if you...
Team game.
You know, Yorick, you get a picture of him in your mind. Let's see if this changes things.
Okay.
I want to see.
I want him to be like the sweetest bean.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's just the guy. Okay, that's not bad.
Got Darth Maul energy.
So let's say the Darth Maul of RWA. That's awesome.
Does he look like... Is he like he has like Dowie-ish vibes, right?
He is
Yeah,
Dowie,
he is a Dowie. He is the Forge Master. He was the person creating Felicity. This is the guy from the beginning of the Isles.
I know. That's what I was just saying that. I was like, that's crazy. Okay. Wow. Yeah, this bitch better stay in hell. We don't need him on the material plane. That's for fucking sure.
All right. I know it's just a one-way conversation. I just wanted to hear what the team's thoughts were.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Because I was like, pretty sure we're all in agreement here, but...
What if we're like, nah, man, let's wreak havoc when we get home?
Oh, like
I would have had some questions, but I would have respected everyone's opinion. But yeah, I think just Yorick won't say anything as they keep traveling.
Okay. Yorick, as you refuse to respond to him, I'd like you to make a wisdom saving throw with advantage.
Oh, it's gonna be like that, all right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh yeah, 31.
31.
Not
you
quite
resist
Lila, but pretty good.
the effects of the curse on this item. So, you do not know what exactly the curse is, but you can feel the scepter try to seep into your mind, trying to change you in some way. Not take control of you, but change you. You resist that effect. And you feel as though, since you are not participating in the conversation anymore, that in the time that it takes you to get to the throne of Beelzebul, it will not be an issue again. But for resisting temptation, it worked out in your favor.
Yeah. Paladins.
Okay. Alrighty.
Make our way.
Yeah. So all of you head up the stairs and return to the throne of Beelzebul. The stench of the throne room returns. Mold and blood and rot. A throne of bones and sinew, blood and pus, meat and fungus just all mingled together in this awful cocktail. As you re-enter, Beelzebul feels all of you and the scepter and smiles. You can feel that smile, and you can't see it. His face is that of Fly's eyes. As, just as a reminder, if you needed a little... in case you just forgot how gross he is.
Yeah, thanks for that. Oh, his throat's sick, though.
Maybe we should get him on a self-love journey.
Get him
He
on
needs
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
If you look like that, I don't...
We
Oh, man.
accept
Lila
all
can work
bodies,
miracles.
flies
Nobody
or
believe in
not.
Miracles.
Okay. So, all of you approach, and he
That was the right
speaks.
response.
So then, you return to me, scepter in hand. I have signed your contract. Give me the scepter.
It's all yours. And York will walk up and hand it off.
So, York, you feel this resistance for a moment, but as Beelzebul grabs it, the resistance is lost. You see his arm attempts to contort. He's going to use a legendary resistance to succeed anyway. As he grips hold, you can see the mandibles on his head sort of flick and twitch, taking the psychic damage. But as he takes it from your hand, gripping hold of it, you can see this arcane magic tether around him, but not wrapping tightly. It is a loose fit, as if the evil that grips hold of the scepter is stronger than the evil that lives within the scepter. Beelzebul is far more corrupted and twisted than that of the scepter itself. As he grips hold, all of you can see the attunement process begin. And there is this twisting of golden light that swirls around him. As the squelching ceases, and there is this twisted radiance that comes to life in the room, shedding the form of rot and bile and flies. You see an angelic figure stand before you in just a matter of moments after taking the staff. Not dissimilar than the planetars or Empyreans that you have seen on previous occasions. The only difference is there is a deadness in his eyes. This sort of black void that is reminiscent of the Imperious, the Radiant Dread, the darkness of his face, concealed by his hood, that infinite blackness, you see that within his eyes. As even some things the magic of the staff cannot twist and conceal. But you see now standing before you the angelic form of Beelzebul. Long white hair, feathered wings, and plate armor of white and gold. As he smiles, looking towards all of you, his voice booming and echoing in this opulent cathedral you all now find yourselves in, as the magic from the scepter spreads out further and further, covering the realm in an illusion.
Finally, a form befitting my angelic origin. You all have done me a great service. In the war against Glacia, and in the coming war against the Dark One, you will have me as an ally. And your companion, your usurper of Osmodeus, she will have my support. Please stay in Maldomani as long as you wish. But I believe you have other things you need to accomplish.
As all of you can see, the creatures that are hit by the magic of the scepter, bone devils and imps and Aaron Yeses, they all begin to shift and change, becoming these angelic versions of them. Lesser angels or celestial creatures. Some of these like twisted snake-like creatures become coatls, the wispy snake-like dragons of divine magic. Not literally, just an illusion, a coat of paint. The only downside is it doesn't smell any different. That rot and bile is still there, but it's still beautiful. Painfully so, almost. With that, the throne room no longer looks to this, as Maldomani is restored. A plain reminiscent of that of the highest peaks of Celestia, as all of the magic within the scepter is used to do this. Lila, you can recognize that those charges that can be used to enhance spells or use that minor wish, they're used to do this. There's no magic left over to create an army of undead, as he's changing an entire realm of the Nine Hells to be opulent and beautiful.
I mean, I guess this is best case scenario then. He just needs some Febreze.
Yeah, I mean, it's really fucked up, but like, I guess it looks nicer now, huh? Yeah.
I mean, yeah. At least it's not,
one less scent,
At least
Better
it's not
than-
making more undead.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty.
At least it's not trying to hug us like Levistus tried to. It's like, I know what you look like under that paint, so.
Get like several infections.
Levistus was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they're all being okay, you know?
I think they all have their own fucking problems, okay?
I don't know. I'm
Who
really
knows?
nervous about meeting what's his butt up next. I don't remember.
Mephistopheles.
Yeah.
It's okay, he's just a dancing cat, you know? It's fine.
Magical.
Do some magic.
I mean, Lila wouldn't have anything to say. I think she'd be just kind of like,
Get the fuck out of here.
yeah, I guess like just happy that there's no more undead. But like, you know, I think the same reaction we're all having. We're like, I mean, I guess this works.
Like,
That's
this is
just an
okay,
invitation to
but,
linger, but we can definitely just go. That's definitely fine with us. We wouldn't want to put you out, you know? Like,
Yeah, we do gotta get
We'll
going.
see ourselves out.
Do you know where Perrin is? He's supposed to take us to Kanya. Just that way.
Are you asking him?
I mean, he does it much more eloquently than that, but yeah, I think he wants to know how to get the fuck out of here.
He will say, of course, I will have 2 of my finest Empyreans escort you to the River Styx, so you may peacefully journey on your way to Mephistopheles, and allow me to do you this one favor, a gift to help against his words he speaks, his honeyed words. And you can see as he waves his hand, you feel this, at first, angelic breath, this sweet, like ambrosia-like quality wash over you, but then it twists. It's this rotting taste in your mouth, as if you just, if you bit into a sweet, succulent apple, and as you chewed it, it began to rot and decay as that flavor twists. However, if there is ever a saving throw that Mephistopheles subjects you to, you will make it with advantage.
Thank God.
Woo! That was nice.
That is nice.
Okay. So with that, you see 2 Empyreans, these mighty, massive, angelic creatures. They float over and they guide you down into this angelic countryside. Rolling green hills, pouring waterfalls, tall, brilliant gold and green spires. All an illusion, though. And in this moment, you have a lot of different feelings. But you realize that individuals could be sent to this realm and potentially never realize they were in hell to begin with. There's the smell, but even after the time you've been here, you've almost gotten used to it. It was only more apparent in the throne room because of how beautiful everything was, but how the smell was present. But after years, who knows? Okay. With that, all of you are guided to the River Styx, and at a small port side, you see him there waiting for you. The ferryman waits, boat ready to take you down the River Styx. So, with all of that, you board, and you leave the realm of Maldamani behind, headed deeper into the hells to Kania. However, as all of you descend further, riding on the River Styx, there is something that happens. There's this threshold you cross as the signature that Beelzebul established and your signature, the signature Beelzebul put and Eurydice's signature, as that is validated by the courts of the hells within Nessus. Now, 2 major archdevils signed to you. A third one, a very powerful individual, Baal. Or, wait, no, not Baal.
Baal.
Baal, yeah. It's an E, not in the second A. Whoa. Baal, he also signed to you. You wonder how his war efforts are going within Minoris, but that'll be something you have to find out at a later date. But as it is,
he's doing a banger job.
brother loves war. Ready, he loves it. But
that dude was awake for 2 minutes and summoned an army to go fight for him. He was ready.
He was good to go.
Hey man, he's had time to think about it, you know.
Yes.
A couple of things happen in this moment simultaneously. Yorick, for one, having sworn away from that corruption of the scepter, and to a degree, you made a fiend sign a contract. You can feel the armor you wear. It really enjoys that. The symbiote within begins to churn and move as you feel it grows closer to you and stronger. As more cracks and veins begin to appear, the symbiote and the magma veins, they begin to glow brighter. Streaks of gold within them, not just reds and orange, that dull color. It is bright. It is magical lava that courses through the armor. And you feel as though your dominion over fiends grows stronger as the infernal Aegis becomes awakened. And all of you, one step further on your journey and only one more realm to go before the confrontation of Glacia and the ascension of Eurydice. As we go to take a break, I would like to welcome all of you to level
Wait,
14.
Whoa!
What are we fighting?
I thought,
Malice.
aren't we also doing the Lich thing for Malice? Was it called? Phylactery?
Yeah.
Yep.
Here?
Yeah.
Within Kania.
Yuck.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go Nalpian.
So, all of you we're going to take a little bit of a longer break, probably 10 or 15 minutes, so everybody can level up, pick new spells, whatever. I don't think 14 you gain new spells, right?
Like a new level?
New level.
I will because I'm multi-class.
Oh,
but
that's
it
right.
won't take me long to select.
Yeah, I don't know where the hell
I don't know. We
I
might
think-
just get more stuff.
I think
I get ability
13th you get
swarm.
7, 14th you're still at 7, and then 15th you get up to 8th. I think it's 15th is when you get to 8th.
Yeah, we just got 7th level
Yeah.
spells, or at least I did.
So with that, that's where we're going to go ahead and take our break. We will be right back while we let everybody level up, and we'll be back for Kania.
Hey there, everybody. It's Joe here. So I made a little boo-boo. So I accidentally, when we came back from streaming, I forgot to hit my hotkey to unmute the stream. And during the streams, I try my best to pay attention to chat, but just, wasn't there. I was a little too into the game because there was a lot of elements going on in this part, so I accidentally forgot to unmute the stream. Not a huge deal. I remember what happened, so I'm just going to give you the lowdown here through the sped up footage. And sorry, it happens. Well, but I can guarantee it's not going to happen for a while because I definitely will not forget to check to make sure the levels are hitting. So pretty much in this section, what happened was when the party arrived in Kania, they were gripped by astral magic and pulled up into the sky, teleported away into Mephistopheles' keep. As Mephistopheles' keep is currently under siege by Glacia's forces. So Mephistopheles, to avoid them getting captured or attacked, teleported them right into his keep, welcoming them And the party knew that Mephistopheles was going to be one of their hardest devils to convince just because of how persuasive he could be. Being an archdevil of the 9 hells, it's not spells that he necessarily affects the party with, it's his aura, his presence. It has the ability to make you feel like what he's saying is correct, regardless of your own personal values. So unless what he's saying makes you act against your nature, then, well, kinda gotta go with it. So the party begins their conversation with Mephistopheles. He informs them of the situation and states simply what he wants. He knows that he can't avoid making a deal with the party. His keep is under siege. They've already garnered so much support in the upper realms. For him not to sign a contract, he recognizes would be short-sighted on his part. But he still could choose not to. He could choose to be his own separate third or fourth party in this whole thing and make it much harder for their forces to get to Khania. So, the debate and the conversation begins. Mephistopheles has 2 sticking points. One, he will sign a contract and support Eurydice as tyrant king of the queen of the 9 hells, but he wants to have the ability to challenge Eurydice on any decree that she makes, because he believes that one of the most short-sighted things that could be done is to give Eurydice full control over the hells. A chaotic, good creature being in control of the hells could descend the whole place into madness and chaos, and that's not what he wants. He were to follow the rules that they had established in the contract already by bringing an appeal to the court within Nessus, Eurydice could still act on that until the court has given a decision on whether it is lawful or unlawful for that decree to exist in the 9 hells. Problem is, that court is currently 2,000 or 3,000 years behind schedule. So if she were to do something, think about how much damage she could do in the time being. That's part 1 that he wants. Part 2 is that he knows that within the hells, within Khania specifically, his realm, there is a power source. He doesn't know exactly what it is, he's getting premonitions of it. He has the power of foresight, and he knows that there's some type of great energy source there that he wants to be in control of. He wants that energy source because he knows with his magical prowess, he could recreate it. And in doing so, he could give the hells relief from the need of using souls as power. He could transform the hells into a place that uses a renewable energy source, not something as finite as the souls of mortals that end up in the hells. Why does he want to do this? He says that he wants to do this for pretty much one reason. Long ago, he made deals with mortals on the material plane and ended up growing close to them, almost pitying them, like having to put down a dog. That's what he tells the party in that moment. Those are the 2 things that he wants. And, well, the party can agree to it, for the most part. They have a few caveats they'd like to make in addition to the contract. One, they're not going to just give Mephistopheles the ability to challenge Eurydice. A separate impartial court would be founded within the court of Nessus, that whenever any archdevil brought up any problem with any contract or any decree made by the tyrant, they could immediately challenge it, causing everything to cease, and then the court, the new court, would need to immediately address it. In terms of the energy source, the decision that was made is that Mephistopheles could head a committee, but any actions he would take with the energy source would need to be validated by an impartial committee that would also be a part of the High Courts of Nessus. That was generally where we got to when I made this face, and realized, oh shit, I hadn't been recording audio this whole time. And with that, we
I hope
unmute
nobody wants
and
to
we get
go
back
back
to the
and
game.
listen to any of that because the stream was muted that entire time.
Oh,
Oh, wait, like this whole
Since
session or
break?
what?
Since break, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
A right to a speedy trial. Isn't that like an American thing?
That's
Don't bring
funny.
politics into the hells.
Well, what? This motherfucker's forcing it on us. Here's all my thing. I think exactly what you guys have said is absolutely what's needed to be added in here because it's already there.
Like a
but
tribunal pause or something. You know, if there's something that, you know, I mean, do we want it to be a majority? So like 5 devils. That 5 devils
I think that's
disagree
great.
with. An immediate
Yeah.
stop will be taken to the process, and it'll be fast tracked through the tribunal till a
Yes.
decision is made.
Yes. Because I think out of everybody we have dealt with, I trust him the least. Because that's how his character has been created to be. What he's saying is very valid, and I don't think any of us like disagree. But it's the fact that he is about to become the most powerful person in the Hells, and then saying, well, she's not from here. She can't sit with us. So I have to be able to
No,
blah, blah, blah,
exactly.
blah. You know, so it's like,
Exactly.
yes, but you also need to relax, buddy, because this is you gaining power without you sitting on the throne.
Greatest threat to democracy is the democratic process. So, you know, we need to have our checks and balances here.
Yeah. So I think we propose that to him because it's what he wants. And if he gets a little crybaby boy about it, it's like, well, then we've called your bluff, buddy.
And we propose that effect.
Yeah.
Yes, but
Had a feeling.
there is one issue with that. Requiring a majority, a simple majority, of archdevils to agree to the challenge and halt of a decree. The individual who approves and can assign vacant seats of archdevils, which there soon will be many, 3 to be exact. Actually, I think 4. 1, 2, 3.
I thought it was even
4.
more than that.
Nope, it's 4.
Hmm.
Because it is Avernus, Dis, Minaris, and Felgathos.
Wait, which one is Bale getting? I thought he got Dis.
Minaris.
No. This is all kinds of fucked
Yeah,
up.
Dis
right now.
doesn't have anything. Dis is chaos right now.
Oh, I see. That's why I thought.
Yeah, someone did something here. I don't.
An absolute asshole, you know.
I don't know. It looked real bad from afar. I was way over there. I wasn't there. I heard about it. You know. Not that I would know, but
I thought he was putting it back together while we were gone. I don't know.
No, so you guys
Dipped the
awoke him
fuck the moment it went to shit.
You guys were in Minaris when that happened, and he said that he would challenge one of Glacia's pledges there. So he went to go fight the fiend lich that lives there.
Okay.
So he would just say that there will be 4 vacancies within the Hells, and when there is a vacant seat of power on any lair, it is up to the Archdevil Supreme, the tyrant of the 9 Hells, to make that decision. My only request, my only addendum on top of that, is that in order to appoint a new individual, a majority must agree on the individual taking that seat of power. So that prevents whoever the new sovereign is, Eurydice in this case, from appointing who she wishes, to give her that ultimate power to be able to make whatever decree she wants and never be challenged by them, because 4 individuals would agree with her, and then Beelzebul, of course, would agree with her. Because, well, They're angelic paths. Divinity runs in their veins. So, a majority must be established on electing a new archdevil to a lair where one is vacant.
Wait, just to check. So we propose someone and they get to vote to say if they stay or not? Or
Yuri gets to
they
propose
get to...
someone.
Yeah, sorry. Eurydice gets to propose someone and they get to decide if they stay or not? Or they
All
get
of
to
you.
all nominate someone and have like an election there?
The last
think
one,
it's just-
where
Okay, well I want the first one.
Eurydice can choose somebody and they vote on it, and then they would have the opportunity to say, I think it should be this person. And then I
But
I
everybody has
suppose
to
it would be
vote.
up to
Yeah.
Eurydice to say, okay, well then we can elect that person.
Yeah, see, I'd want Eurydice to be the one nominating the people. You know?
That wouldn't solve
Just
his
because I
problem,
worry
though.
that because there's 4 vacant seats, if he's able to get them to be all his buddies, because, you know, bro has the silverest tongue, then he will always have the majority, you know?
Or what if we got 4 vacant seats and we got 4-ish, we got people. What if Mephisto can elect one, Beelzebul can elect one, Levistus can elect one, and Eurydice elects the last one. Is that how numbers work? Or whatever? Like, each
You
of them
know?
get to choose a new seat
Mm-hmm.
I
of
kinda
power.
like that. That's neat.
And then it's completely balanced. Nobody's, you know.
I think that's fair.
Putting that out on the table. Slap.
Yeah, because it would be Avernus, Dis, Felgethos, and Mount Bolgi. Because
So that's
Venaris
4.
would be, yeah.
And that's fair.
Yeah?
Cool. So no one has.
You have anything to say about that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With pink.
Ryan's doing math right now.
Beelzebub
Sorry, I
is
just
as
feel like I'm
angelic
missing
as Eurydice's
someone.
lawful, so.
So, Avernus, Dis, Felgethos, and Malbolgi. And then Levistus, Beelzebul, Mephistopheles, and Eurydice.
Aren't there 9 layers, though?
Yeah, but one already is picked. Minaris is going to be Baal if he wins.
Yeah.
And that was
So there's
baked into
4
the
open.
that was baked into the contract
That was
since he was
baked into the contract, yeah.
And
So
we
technically
chose that.
already have a
Eurydice
loaded
didn't.
thing anyways, so we're fine. Like,
So, boom. What's
Yeah.
he say
Well,
to that one?
Yeah, because Baal is doing it the way that you're supposed to. He's challenging the Archdevil directly, and if he wins, then he just isn't. You know, it's not a vacant seat. He's trying to take the
Trial
seat.
by combat, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's the other thing. If we ever really hate anything, we could always just do another, like, Bale thing and, like, you know, cause a little usurping, you know?
You
We
could.
got this, easy.
Yeah, you could come back down and be like, you know what? I don't like
Fuck
what's
you.
going on here. Let's
I
do
don't
something
like it.
different. Okay.
Because we're not bound by the contract. Only Eurydice is, so, like, we could fuck around, you know?
Wahaha.
Okay. So, he will think on that for a moment and say, I can agree to that. It is fair and lawful. So, Levistus, myself, Beelzebul, and Eurydice will pick for the vacant seats that exist. And you believe Baal will take Minaris?
I mean, he seemed real convincing is the word I'll use.
Very good, very good. I am a fan of Baal and his work. I think what he was trying to do on the material plane was unnecessary. I don't like meddling in the affairs of your plane. It's messy enough already. It does not need any help from me. But nonetheless, a very strong fighter, and I think he'll have a good handle on Minoris. Very good. Fine. Baal will most likely take Minoris, and if that is the case, then the 4 of us will elect leaders for the 4 vacant seats. Then a majority will be necessary anytime a decree is challenged from the tyrant of the Nine Hells.
Are you happy?
On that particular part of the addendum, yes, I am happy. That is a...
Great to know it.
But that leads to the first addendum that I brought up.
Could you remind me what that one was? I'm so sorry. Got so in depth on that
The
one.
battery alternative energy one.
The power source. Now...
That was Ryan answering,
And
sorry.
that's Felicity
Here
asking.
is the topic of conversation. Very easily, we could put into this contract that all of the devils, same as previous, a majority is required on decrees related to the where the energy is used and how it's used, and if it should replace the Hellfire engines. The thing is, no other devil on this plane, within any of the lairs of the Nine Hells, would be able to control it the same way I would. If you give it to someone like Levistus, or Beelzebul, or even your friend Eurydice, it could cause problems. Energy that strong, whatever it may be, in the wrong hands, could cause many, many, many problems. My request is that myself and an impartial committee formed by the courts of Nessus be in charge of processing those requests. As I said, and I'm more than happy to bake it into the contract, my goal with it is to replace all soul usage in the Hells with this power source. And then eventually to help souls that wind up here, redemption so they may return to some other afterlife. That is my goal with this power.
I have a question.
Please.
I'm sorry, there's probably a better way to say it, but I'm just gonna say it. The Hells have been way more complicated than I thought they would since I got down here. So I'll be the first to acknowledge that I don't understand a lot of what's going on. But why do you care about that?
I, more so than many of the devils here, I have had very few pacts with mortals from the material plane, or any other plane for that matter. The reason for this is, when I was much younger and had first ascended to power, I walked the material plane. I saw how you all lived life, how short and insignificant it could be. But I saw the passion you lived it with, the care and love you put into every single step you took. There have only ever been 3 pacts I've made. And after seeing what the Hells did to those individuals, I regretted it. I wished there could have been a way for them to find redemption, to find a better life. The Hells is a land unfit for humanoids such as yourself, such as any of you, regardless of your infernal heritage. It's a cruel place. Humans are humanoids. I see more like pets, I suppose. And I would hate to see a pet of mine live in pain and suffering for all eternity, or have its very essence crushed to kill another. It's a cruel fate for even the cruelest of mortal. So, should they be able to find redemption and live at least some semblance of a peaceful life, then very well. I would wish that for them.
I know you're probably like, look, you believe what he says, right? Because he's not making us act in any sort of way. But I want to say that, like, with all of our baseline knowledge of devils and demons beyond, like, the lawfulness, they are not naturally good creatures, right? So is it not at all a little jarring to hear an archdevil not wish, like, cruelty? Like, I know it'd be more like lawful cruelty, right? But, like, this doesn't seem like part of his nature, right? Like, this feels like bullshit, right? To people who would see an archdevil. Like, it's like, is there any way that would, I don't know, some sort of check that I have to pass to even then make an insight check? Because, like, this smells so suspicious. I'm not buying it. Felicity isn't, but Lila might be.
Oh, I'm falling hook, line, and sinker. This guy's a cutie. Like little pets, I believe it.
Yeah, but like you just called the pets? I don't know, man.
I would say
seeing us as, like, not equal for sure, but, like, to care about suffering of, I'm like, that seems a little too good-hearted. I don't know.
No, yeah, no.
I would say you want to believe him, but Lila, being a cleric, well, what is her alignment? Because it does kind of matter in this.
She is chaotic good. I double-checked it.
Being a good creature, not neutral, I'll have you make an insight check with disadvantage.
Okay.
Not saying that there is obviously an intent or lying from him, but
Okay, 23.
23. You do believe him, but the angle that he speaks it from is care. That's how he pitches it to all of you, but what Lila can tell, as she did succeed on her saving throw earlier, so there's a bit more reason to challenge it here. It's really just pity and self-importance. He doesn't necessarily do it because of care, but it's just gross to him. It is something that he pities, and not in the way where you're like, where like you're empathetic towards a friend, but he views all of you as lesser than him.
Like
and
choosing not to step on an anthill.
Yeah, exactly. So if he can give you something that is like a little better, then sure, because it means so little to him. But I would say Lila can also tell that it is very apparent that there were mortals he has cared about in the past, legitimately cared about.
Okay.
And that has probably influenced his feelings on this matter.
Then I have a follow-up now that we've gotten to this point.
Yeah.
Does it seem like there would most likely be another motive in combination with this? Because if you that feels like a very huge thing to do when you're just kind of disgusted, or you're like, well, I'm not stepping on the anthill kind of thing. Like, that seems like such an apathetic, it doesn't feel like a passion of his, right? Like, it's more like well, I'll do this because I kind of, care to some degree, but it feels like there's got to be another layer here, right? Like, that is not his soul. Like, suddenly he woke up and he's like, I really need to help out these ants. Like, it, right?
Make another insight check with disadvantage.
I was to say, like, I wouldn't be surprised if he just doesn't want, like, more, like,
Okay, a good start. Oh my god, Lila. 28.
Okay. This one is a lot harder to... Jesus, that was delayed. This one is a lot harder to discern. Even with a 28, there isn't that much that you gain, but one of the things I would say you would gain is that in any... You can tell that he's telling the truth about the other devils would probably do more harm with this power than good. But I mean, it would give him more power in the hells, and probably more power than he has now because of how few souls enter Kania, because of how deep it is. So it would be an equalizer, where Avernus receives millions of souls. I mean, probably monthly.
It be an equalizer, or because it's like the way he's talking is to completely remove hellfire cannons that are, charged by souls. So it's not equalizing, it's shifting the power to him, which up to us to decide if that's a good or a bad thing, or even worth our time and energy. But
I don't think there is a way for Lila or anybody else to know if it is an equalizer or shifting, because that's never happened in the hells. There's no rule book or logic to follow there, because it is such a radical idea.
Yeah, that makes sense. We're just trying to not set Eurydice up for failure here, I think, to the best of our ability. So I thank you, Joe, for working with me on that one, because I was like, I smell some bullshit. Okay. Since we're not having an inner monologue conversation, what do we feel then, team? So that I don't speak for everybody, but
I would almost say that, like, if it is a power shift thing, and it does grant him a lot more, we can kind of deal with that when that comes. And because, like, especially with the new, like, majority rule thingy that we put in, if he's suddenly getting a bunch of power, a lot of the other devils aren't going to like that. And so I feel like any motion against letting him get that dominance would kind of pass through quickly, because the other devils aren't going to want to suddenly become, like,
right.
pecking order. And so I feel like it's already got its checks and balances to stop it from happening, for him to become this big, powerful force then in the hells.
Yeah. I can see that.
I think as long as... I don't... This is one that I feel like we're not going to be able to move him from. Because, it's his thing. And, like, that little tidbit about how he's not getting as many souls, I feel like that says it all right there. But if he's true to the having an impartial committee and him make those decisions, that makes me feel more comfortable, because it's not he's in charge of making the decisions about it. He has other people that will, like, an immediate checks and balance with him, if that makes sense.
Like, I think we really remember that this is, like, system that we're setting up. Like, we don't have to have every rule in place right now. Like, changes can be made once Eurydice in power.
Yeah. What was that, Brian?
Well, I think also, like, even if we take him out of the equation entirely, if there's a chance for the souls that do end up down in here to not just have a shitty existence, even if it ends up not going well, just having a chance to change the landscape of this place, I think, is a huge opportunity.
Absolutely.
It might not work, but I just don't think we can ignore the possible benefit there.
No, I agree. And I've thought of that too. I just was like, how much of this is baiting our little heartstrings because we are mere mortals, you know, like, who obviously would care about that, right? Like, I'm like, is this him manipulating us just so he can have power and not do any of that, what he's saying? You know, that's what
I agree, but I also think with how we reworked the other deal, it does set stuff against him, because especially if it seems like he's about to get a lot more power, then this new power dynamic in the Hells, because there's going to be 4 new Archdevils. He's basically putting a giant target on his back.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
He actually might be slowing himself down more than he realizes.
Maybe.
But he might think it's worth the risk. And what are devils but gamblers, like, on occasion?
Right. I mean, it seems like we're all kind of in agreement that, like, it might be worth the risk of just letting him follow through with this, and if it's a problem, Eurydice can deal with it later.
Yeah. Because it's going to take time regardless for him to build up that power to, like, you know, be more powerful than everything else. So, like, we'll have time. It's not going to be overnight, surely. I think that...
No, like with anything in the Hells, I mean, you're right. You're right. I mean, it is layers and layers of bureaucracy and all of that for it eventually to take place. I mean, just for their choices to be validated as Archdevils would probably take, a year or 2 material plane time to happen fully.
The only thing I'm thinking of right now, and Joe, correct me if I'm wrong here, but like, is this power source like a one and done kind of thing, or will they need to keep going and reaping whatever from that plane to keep creating these things?
Renewable energy.
He knows that it's very powerful, but it seems as though it's an energy source that you're taking from that place and bringing here to him so he can replicate it.
Oh, replicate it. Okay.
Wants to study it.
That is less concerning to me, because I was just like, the other thing, I was like, is he just like gonna keep going into whatever plane this is and keep taking from that plane?
It's in Kania. So it is a city or some type of structure within Kania that he thinks is maybe older than him, but it could very well be older than the Hells itself. But for some reason, it's here. And it seems to be from a different plane.
Oh, I misunderstood.
Yeah.
Okay, that's even better. Sure.
I would add a few last addendums, but agree with the rest of what we said so far. Which would just be our usual, you sign now, but it doesn't come into effect until we do our end.
Mm-hmm.
And then also just while we're down here doing our tasks, you can't fuck with us. You can't get in the way, can't stop us, none of that. Just the usual protection.
Okay, he would agree to that.
Everyone else good with that, yeah?
I think so. The only thing I would be apprehensive about with the sign now, and we'll do our part later, is it almost kind of bit us in the butt the last time with the very powerful staff. We were kind of like, had to figure out what it was before we just handed the great power over. But I don't think that's going to be the same situation again, but I just wanted to bring that up, that almost was a thing.
Yeah, see, because, I don't know, I feel like I have a little bit of a theory about what this power thing is, and so, I'd feel more comfy if we, know what it is before we just agree that we're going to get it over to him instantly.
Well, the problem is we have to go there, figure out what it is, not take it out, go back to him, then have him sign it. Because if we take it out of that place, then he can just take it from us. Or worse, just convince us to give it to him.
Well, isn't he going to sign it before we leave? Like, we have to have him sign it before we go and risk our lives getting this power source for him.
But I also don't think we need that back and forth. Like, we could still have this thing of just, whilst we're getting this thing, or, whilst we're in this domain, you're not going to do anything to sabotage or harm us. But, it could easily be a thing on the us stance of, no one knows what this thing is. So like, it could be a thing of just like, okay, we can't instantly get it to you, or like there's going to be something else that needs to be done in order to like harness it. And since we don't know what that is, we can't guarantee that we can give it to you right here and now once we get it. And so I feel like we can easily just have a thing of just, you know, give us safe passage through this domain, and, you know, we'll get to the source, blah, 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 do all that, and then if we are fine with handing it over, we hand it over. Signing happens, we're done.
And if we're not, then what?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So he signs to not harm us in his domain, right?
So
And
like a mini contract separate from the other one.
Yeah. If we don't want to hand it over, he can't do anything to hurt us because we're in his domain, you know? And he's not going to have as much influence over other domains. And he can't get the power source himself. So, you know, it just kind of... No one gains anything, but, like, it is a safeguard for us.
We can ask.
So the specifics of it, what you're asking is, you want a separate contract that says that he cannot mess with you, do anything, take the power source, whatever it is, until you all come back, until all of you say that it's okay for him to have, till...
While we are working...
Not related to the power source at all. We don't need it to relate to the power source. Just a thing of just like, you will not do any harm or disruption to us whilst we're in your domain. That's all. That's all we need.
Okay. Yeah.
But
yeah.
like, why would he? If we're doing a favor for him.
Yeah, exactly. So it's an easy
I don't
want to
say
it's
what
just
I'm
a
thinking out
safeguard
loud.
for us.
Okay, let's do it then. Okay, go for it.
That's what I'm saying. This is meant to be a big thing. It's just a quick little, we're gonna be fine, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So while in his domain, there is nothing he can do to affect you, to do anything to you, until when?
Well, just while we're in his domain, you know?
While you're okay.
If he signs the overall contract, he can't do anything anyways, because that's, you know, in violation of the big contract.
Okay. So while the only addendum he would have to your contract is that while you are in his domain until he signs the big contract.
Yeah, okay, yeah, sure.
Because he doesn't want to give you guys immunity for forever, and then you come back, you know, in 3 years,
Oh,
and
we
like,
could even make it like our current visit. You can't do anything as soon as we leave the domain.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's a one entry visa kind of
'Cause then-
situation. You know,
That one, current visit.
yeah, current visit.
But also,
All right.
I like until the contract is signed too, because then that confirms that he has to sign this no matter what kind of thing, you know, like...
Well, yeah, because if he doesn't sign it, we get complete immunity. Actually, I like that one better. We do that one. Until he signs it, we get, you know, no harm, no disruptions. Done. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Perfect.
Easy. Let's go.
All right. He will sign it. However, before the deal can be fully validated and fully done, there is another wisp of cold air in the room.
Son of a bitch.
As cracking from ice, Levistus appears within the keep of Mephisto and says, "Well, hello, everyone. I hear there are addendums being made to the contract. Yes. Do you mind if I read over those addendums so I have time to review them and make sure that I'm okay with them before anyone else signs any more contracts? That was the deal we made, is any addendums made to the contract I would get to read through first."
We'll get on in here.
I remember, bud.
All
Good to
right,
see ya.
wonderful. Mephisto, it's so great to see you, buddy. Look at me, out of the iceberg. Isn't it great? Fantastic. Yes.
Why does everyone hate Levistus? I love this guy.
Yeah, honestly.
Why do all my homies hate Levistus? I'd hang out with Levistus.
All right. So Levistus will stay and read the contract and the addendums that you know you guys have gone over. But if there's no other questions for Mephistopheles, he will sign his side contract related to a non-aggression pact until he signs the big contract. Got it? Good?
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Let's go.
Sick. So,
Jesus Christ.
Sign the contract after 2 hours of delegation and bureaucracy.
Actually, Jesus.
It was about that, yeah, I think, because it was like
talking for some time.
yeah. Oh, well, you know, what can you do? It's the thing. It's the thing with devils. We all knew it was going to be part of this.
Well,
that thing.
hell.
Yeah, because he's full of fucking shit, so we have to make sure we're
Damn.
covering our asses.
Damn. Got to get that CTA packed. Cover thine ass. It's the fantasy equivalent.
Nice.
Okay. All right. So with that, as all of you are preparing to depart, finishing your meal, standing up, Mephisto will look to all of you and say, I very much look forward to your return. And please do not come back empty-handed, as, well, that would put quite a stall on the freedom of my keep and my promise of support behind Eurydice. Farewell and good luck. And he will wisp you up. And as you're sort of floating the whirls of starlight and Aurora Borealis mixing around you, he says, I'm not going to teleport you just there. You'll have a little bit of traveling to do, but just keep heading towards the icy spires, and believe me, after about an hour or two, you will see it. Good luck. And with that, the warmth of the fireplace is gone, and the stark cold returns. The snow and the winter winds as you return to Kanya. So, you have about an hour, 2-hour walk to your destination. You see the exact icy spires that he was talking about. So, you have that time to walk. Is there anything special anybody would like to do on this journey to the place? Oh, Ryan, you have something?
I sure do, man.
All right.
All right, Yorick's gonna cast a spell.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, taking the tip of his glaive, he traces a circle around him, and casting a spell creates some infernal runes, and he's going to cast Find Greater Steed.
Mm.
Oh.
Yeah.
What a cool guy.
Thanks.
And so, Ryan, Yorick, when you cast the spell, what does it look like, and what steed does he summon?
Yeah, so as the circle that forms, the infernal runes begin to glow, and then like flames rise up from where the circle is. And as Yorick finishes the incantation, for a second it almost looks like he falls like into the flames, but he kind of like reaches out and grabs them. It almost seems like they materialize into like some rains, as all of a sudden from the fire a nightmare emerges, one that looks tad familiar to everyone, although very different from its original incarnation. As you know, Nightmare Lawrence has arrived and fully
Nightmare
taken
Lawrence.
his form. Nightmare Lawrence.
Man, if only we had Twilight
Still a
Sparkle
nightmare
here with
though.
us.
You know, Nalfia for a
Okay,
second
that's a
just
nightmare. Night stallion.
crosses his arms like, I guess we'll walk.
Yeah, I realized I didn't have conjure animals, so sorry,
Well,
y'all. I can't just get us
There's
steeds
room
as
for
well.
one more.
The nice part is, even if the nightmare does not necessarily speed up your journey at all, it does keep all of you warm while within Kanya, as Kanya is even
Oh, hell
colder
yeah.
than
Very nice.
Levistus's domain.
Snuggle up.
So being near the nightmare, there is no detrimental effect of the cold near you, because the nightmare is fueled by the fires of the hells. So you stay warm next to Lawrence.
We're all huddling along like penguins.
Again,
Warm
room for one
penguins.
more if anyone wants to ride.
I will,
All right,
Zebrin
cool.
says.
Zebrin! First come, first serve, bud.
All
Let's
right.
go.
The noise he makes getting up on the night.
Yeah, I believed you.
Excellent Foley work on my part. Good job. Okay. All right.
Really come through.
Everyone, let's all take a moment and applaud you
Yeah.
for that.
Beautiful.
Very good.
Outstanding.
I'm very blessed to be here. Thank you.
Put it on the highlight.
Alrighty. So you continue to walk or ride in the case of Zephyrin and Yorick. So
if anyone's tired, Yorick will switch.
It's like the horse from Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I had like a.
So, as all of you begin to travel towards these icy spires to this buried city, are there any conversations all of you are having on the way there? Anything you're hoping to do? Anything at all before arriving at the frozen city itself?
Is the snow like thick? Like high?
No, it's a rather light snow right now. It's just the cold, really, and the wind, but it's not a blizzard.
I was just making sure because Twig is short, so Nalf was gonna offer to like a piggyback ride. I didn't know like how high.
Oh,
the snow
like how high the snow is. Okay.
Yeah.
She could have been on the horse.
Yeah, but it's cute this way.
No, I like the idea that Twig just has snow up to her chin and she's just fighting her own life through this
She's like
snow.
she's like Gimli and the hobbits in the Fellowship. Meanwhile, you have Nalfian like on top of the snow, just like. Hey, you want some help, bud?
That visual is so
Please.
funny. Meanwhile, Lawrence is just melting the snow in front of them.
And then it's perpetually freezing.
Behind us.
So anybody behind Lawrence is like ice skating right now.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
What a silly ride.
This is a silly ride. No, I mean, contract talk I think always is like pretty intense. So Nalvian's just kind of like replaying the conversation in his head, just making sure nobody missed anything, you know. But he isn't not really saying much.
All right, well, I feel bad, but I have a thing.
Yeah, you should feel bad. How dare you play the game?
No one else seems to be talking, but I'll go. I have another. Since they're both riding the horse, apparently, York's gonna talk to Zephyrin.
Okay, yeah.
I was wondering if you could do me a favor.
Of course. What's on your mind?
York's gonna reach into his bag of holding, and he's going to pull out a Ventahalis contract, and he's gonna hand it to Zephyrin. You're one of the smartest people I know. Smarter than me. I know the hells are its own thing, but I don't know. You could look it over. See if there's a way out, something I missed, you know? Mean a lot to me.
Of course. I can look it over now while we're riding, but I will admit reading one on horseback is difficult. But
well, you don't have to do it now.
Oh, okay.
I figured you'd have it, so when we went to rest, I mean, I could hold on to it until like we mention it again if you want.
No, that's fine. If I have any free time while we're doing this, I can start. It's yes, Yorick. Yes, I can do that for you. I can look it over, and if there's anything that comes to mind, I'll give you any ideas I have.
Thanks. I have a question, but can you give it like a quick read over just to see if maybe I'm reading into it or not?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Once he reads it,
okay,
York's gonna be like, okay, so it says that, and I don't have it right in front of me. I'm sorry, but it says that like the 1,000,000 soul mark harvested. Then she learns about her lineage and her. I can't remember how it was her soul progeny, or like basically learns about Glossia. I can't remember how it was phrased.
Yeah, enlightenment of her progeny and restoration of her fragmented memories shall be bestowed upon the servant.
Right. So that part And like the whole thing about how she like slowly gets stuff back. That means Zariel knows who and what she is, right? Like, she knows. She can't give something she didn't know, right? Like, that's not how contracts work.
Yes, I suppose that would make sense to me, which means that Osmodeus would have given that information to Zariel.
Well, apparently they were buddy-buddy, so I guess that doesn't surprise me. I just wonder, now that Zariel's serving Glacia, I mean, does Glacia know? Or is that something that Zariel's keeping to herself for the time being? And if so, why?
I suppose that would probably mean that there's a contract between Zariel and Osmodeus, binding them together in this instance. So, I suppose we'd have to find that contract to know the exact extent as to what Lady Zariel is allowed to speak on this matter.
I hate this place so much.
It's starting to make a lot of sense why Mephisto said they were 3,000 years behind. This is awful.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Like, talk about a paper trail.
But that would make sense to me, what you're saying.
Alright, I was just wondering if I was reading too much into it or not.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, from what we know about Glacia, she seems like a, an angry person. You know?
Yeah, you know. Maybe just a little bit.
I mean, if she knew who Eventahala was, she surely wouldn't leave her alone, right? Like, restraint doesn't seem like something in Glacia's, toolbox.
Unless there was something binding her otherwise. When your papa is the tyrant king of the Nine Hells, there might be a couple of strings he could maybe pull to have someone show a little more restraint than what they might want.
Is this Joe talking, or is this Everin talking?
Or
both.
You know, both. I mean, you know, Joe.
Right, cool. Sorry,
Yorick is familiar. Yorick is familiar with it, so it's Joe talking. You know.
Okay. Wonder if in his own weird, creepy, super evil way, you know, he was still trying to protect her even after what happened. You know, for a totally weird, despicable reason, as Osmodeus does, but...
Of course, yeah.
I don't know, just... There's a lot of layers to this, and... I don't know. I can't quite get the whole picture, you know?
Well, it does seem like his flavor of malicious based off of what Eurydice told me she went through.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, too.
Well, if I see anything or read anything in the contract that I think is worthwhile, I'll let you know.
Thanks. Alright. Appreciate it. That was all York had to say.
Okay. Very good. All right. So nothing else? For anybody?
Onward.
Ever onward. Real quick, just before we get here.
Anyone want to turn? No?
Real quick, Gemma, I want you to message me, and I want you to tell me what your theory is, because I want to know this beforehand.
Why?
About the power source?
Yeah, I want to know, because I want to...
I have a few theories.
I mean, I've already said something to Felicity.
Yeah.
I'm
We were
just
kind
looking
of
at her,
thinking
though.
the same thing anyway. There was one little small thing that I was, but I'm like, I don't think it works, so...
No one cares about my theories. I care about your theories.
Fuck your theory. No.
Oh, thank you.
I just
Because I have no fucking theories, so I'm confused.
Okay.
Well, I had my one, and it was disproven, so I have no fucking idea what this thing is.
That's all.
Okay.
Bitch, why didn't I get it, huh?
It's fuck you.
Okay.
I didn't get it either, Kayla.
you. Oh, yeah.
Wait,
Fine.
here, I'll give you. I'm just gonna put this in a fucking Isles.
I like how you said crater.
Oh, see, well, this makes sense that you guys would be, because like this is something that you've seen like firsthand in
yeah.
SC. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like crater shit. That was
legit
typo at all.
Don't know anything much about any of this. So
The only other thing I was thinking of, but I don't think it is because it's connected more to the abyss, is the what were they called? Oh, the bottom layer of the abyss, or the bottom where all the titans. Yeah, I was like, I wonder if it's something from way back from the very beginning when everything is being created. That's the only other theory I had, but I didn't think so because it's more abyss stuff. But
I think it's.
I'll say it feels like it was Mechanus coded with the whole metal stuff. So
the
like,
bunny.
yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking.
Yeah.
This never stops.
well, let's go in and find out.
Okay.
Not sponsored, by the way.
So, unless. So, do you imagine sponsored by batteries? What?
Hey man,
so what's happening where this is relevant?
everyone's going to
though?
solar
What?
now. Batteries are having a rough nowadays.
With this new energy source. Okay, so all of you continue your somber march through the hills and valleys of this desolate plain, away from Mephistopheles' keep, away from the siege, and closer to this frozen city. Eventually, after cresting over a hill and descending down in this spiraling stairway, seemingly carved from stone and ice and snow, eventually it descends into this large city-like structure. But it's so strange because the pillars and spires are capped in snow and ice, where it's hard to make any real vision out of them. And you can see how deep the city extends into the ground. And everything down here, or up here by you, it is made of this strange metal. And Lila, you can tell that it's touched by the astral sea, as you see a large door in front of you, across a bridge spanning the gap. And you make your way towards it as I move you to the frozen city.
Pretty.
So, all of you approach. Let me get all my things here pulled up. Yeah, there we go. Okay, bless you. Kayla sneezed. Okay.
We heard.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's
I
okay.
think she should be blessed, you know.
Okay.
Bless you.
So, actually, wait. Sorry. As all of you step up to that gate, the wind begins to die down as you're covered on both sides by rocky, icy enclosures. You all... Yeah, I think this is the one. See this shimmering blue gate in front of you. Magic of blue and green and purple. You can see all along the edge there are these arcane cannons, it looks almost, pointed directly at the plate where all of you currently stand. Right near the door, there is this solid piece of metal and melded with stone with arcane runes etched on it. As the runes begin to glow, opening and crackling to existence this hologram, almost. It flickers to life, displaying a creature that you are familiar with. At least you've seen one of this kind before, and you were told that none others existed. You see an Arcan, one of Ephron's people. The hologram comes to life and begins to speak.
My name is Antris Theralon, High Imperator of the Archons and Admiral of this ship, the Northern Star. Intruders be warned, if you do not evacuate the premise within the next minute, the arcane cannons above and around you will incinerate you. This has been your final and only warning. However, Captain Ephron, if you received our distress signal, speak your ship's name and you will be permitted entry.
The Valkyrie.
I was like,
George
yeah,
just
wait.
Yells.
You know it.
Is that not it?
So you
I think it is.
yell that right away, Yorick?
Yeah,
Well,
he does.
I imagine he looked up and saw like the cannons, like, he's like, oh shit! It's not a bluff, not a bluff, not a bluff.
Okay.
Our pal. Oh.
The SS Valkyrie. Fuck, what do you name that thing? Valkyria? I don't know.
You can see, all of you can see the like probably 40 cannons all charged, ready to shoot the incinerate spell out of them, targeting like 8 of them targeting each of you. You can see as soon as Yorick, you go, Valkyrie, they all immediately begin to power down as the hologram shifts and a new message begins to play.
Captain Ephron, if you're hearing this, then there remains hope for our people. Several days after your departure, our Arcanists made a significant breakthrough in chronomantic magic. Concurrently, we managed to make a jump to a different timeline with a much larger vessel. We believe this advancement was a result of the unraveling caused by the Dark One's consumption of the foundational elements of the planes. Regardless, with this breakthrough, we designated this enclosure capable of housing 10,000 Archons in cryostasis, our best and our brightest. This number is sufficient to form an effective fighting force and to restore our civilization should no other species exist. In the deepest recesses of this facility, there is a switch that requires organic life to activate. Exercise caution, for the ship has been set to fabricate 1,000 warships, inevitable of transforming this place into a maze. Some constructs, depending on the time, may begin to malfunction, and some of our technology may pose danger if sufficient time has passed. I acknowledge the peril, Captain, but you are our only hope. If you require additional motivation, know this. We had enough room to bring your wife and daughter as well. They eagerly await your return. Therefore, Captain, as your commanding officer and leader, I implore you, awaken us. That's an order.
And with that, the hologram shuts off, the force field turns off, and the doors disassemble and open, leading a pathway deeper into not a city, but a ship belonging to the Archons with 10,000 ready to fight against the Dark One. And Ryan, you have a question?
Don't you fucking do it. Yeah, quick question. I'm sorry. I know you're going to end, but I need to ask this before there's a week I forget.
Uh-huh.
Divine Sense, See Invisibility. Is anyone else here with us before we go in?
What's the range?
Well, I don't... Why would you ask that? I hate you so much. Hang on. So I should have this stuff memorized by now, but here I am. Divine Sense, only 60 feet.
See invisibility?
Getting it. It just says for the duration you see invisible creatures and objects as if they were visible. There is not a distance.
So it's within sight. Make a perception check.
Glad I didn't wait a week to ask this. Watchful Helm, so I have advantage. 24, Jack Bauer.
With a 24, Yorick, you look around. You look up against the spires, which you now recognize. These are the same type of thrusters, just larger than what was on Ephron's small vessel. You look around. With a 24, you do not see anyone nearby within visible range.
I don't know why I play this game with you.
Okay, so if it wasn't made entirely clear by the High Imperator of the Arcan people, that energy source will be consumed if they are awakened from cryostasis. Which means as all of you delve deeper into this place, you have a choice to make. Honor your contract with Mephistopheles, or reawaken the people that Ephron doesn't know exist because...
Oh! Real quick, that wouldn't be dishonoring the contract to use up the source though, right? Because we never agreed to give him the source, because I was very
And I think you are out of your mind if you think Mephistopheles wouldn't be okay with his one thing that he wanted in order to break the siege.
He could be mad. He could be mad, but like we're not breaking infernal law.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Yeah.
But
just to make sure.
You probably will not be doing yourself any favors in getting him to sign the contract if the whole half of what he wanted isn't there. But
he can't harm us until he signs it.
Sorry that the fucking Dark Ones are a bigger threat than Mephistopheles.
So you will have time to discuss this at a later date. But here's the thing. Ephron never brought this up to you because he did not know these people existed. What you can assume, and what I'll tell you right now, is it seems like because of the nature of the technology they used and the instability of their material plane, their astral seed, their world, when they jumped back way farther than what Ephron was able to. So all of you know, Ephron has only been on the material plane for months, maybe a year. They've been here in cryostasis for who knows how long. Older than the Hells themselves. So, Ephron doesn't know. But what are you going to do? That'll be something you'll have to figure out next week, because that is where we're going to end tonight's session. Woo!
Oh my god.
I love this special trolley problem, you know?
Couldn't we just like bring him? I don't know. I feel like there's ways around this because it's like, so the energy itself is just what's keeping them asleep. Couldn't we just bring him some of their technology and like the stuff here? Like, obviously it's not going to be as powerful as what he was expecting, but this is stuff that nobody on our plane has access to. So like, I feel like there's a little bit of bargaining that can be done with that. Like, if he's really shitty, come on, like, this is a way bigger than him, and he needs to get over himself. Like, this is way bigger than him.
Source, then, like, wouldn't it be better to know the people that made it instead of just get it, you know? Like, teach a man to fish, you know?
It just... You good, Felicity? What the hell is that?
It's really funny. I thought it was funny. I thought it was my fucking laugh. I'll go die now.
I understand what you're about to say, Joe, like, because you play him, but you know how his character mind works. But I'm just saying he's going to have a hard time with us because I think he's going to be a little... He's out of his mind if he thinks we're going to let the, like, not take an advantage over the Dark One. If the Dark One wins, there is no hell, big fucker.
Because there's 10,000 people that know so much about the Dark One. Like,
I will say, thank you all so much for watching. I'm very glad that we played tonight, and I'm very excited to see where it goes. Be sure to tune in Tuesday for the adventures of the Salamander Coast, Wednesday for the Tales of Everin, and next Saturday for the Isles of Iverion, which will, yeah, that'll be the last session in this setup, because Sunday we're moving, so woo. All right, thanks so much for watching, everybody, and we'll see you in the next one.